All right, welcome everyone. We are starting the Omilia's quarterly product webinar, this time well dominated by self-learning agentic CX. I see a lot of people joining already, but I will give everyone a quick minute so that we have everyone in the room when we get started. So I'll just take a pause here, a quick minute for us to get started. All right, that's fantastic. So I'll get started. Welcome everyone to the Omilia's quarterly product webinar. We'll be doing one of these every quarter just to keep everyone in the loop of all the fantastic things we have been working on and we have been releasing. It's an exciting time for customer experience, and definitely Omilia is leading towards defining a new category here for customer experience as a service. So self-learning agentic CX is really going to be the name of the game here, and also in today's webinar. I will just start by providing a very, very, very brief update on key release items and things that some of us were expecting for long. So quite exciting. Obviously, the star of the show today, self-learning customer service agents, a category defining release that really changes how customer experience should be built and should be done for enterprises. But there are a bunch of interesting and important updates, which I will just briefly mention here. Unified insights, especially for those of you that are now using Agent Assist alongside the virtual assistant. You have one single pane of glass to see all the interactions and really have a full understanding of what's happening in your contact center. The agentic orchestrator that really, in reality, walks along self-learning customer service agents, the task agents, Q&A agents, concierge, all the abilities, all the agentic capabilities within orchestrator with zero friction path to update or to upgrade to agentic, really. So any existing application can just start taking advantage of these features immediately without having friction or having anything similar to a migration path that could give us a lot of trouble. Metrics API v3, the foundation for us to be able to for customers to be able to self-service queries on existing metrics. So that's an exciting update as well. The new Salesforce integration for in-app and web with agent transfer, full voice biometrics lifecycle now on the agent desktop for Agent Assist. So also exciting to see Agent Assist flourishing in capabilities. Our continuous commitment to accessibility, with console getting a lot of new updates for full keyboard navigation. And another exciting item here, redaction service, the ability for anyone to just redact PCI PII data from existing or new full call recordings. Again, language expansion, we continue our commitment to expanding to new languages and new locales, over from 30 to 40 to 50 to 60. We are probably going to end up the year on more than 100 languages. And Developer Co-Pilot, a very exciting update for everyone as well. Now we have a chat interface that allows everyone to have a much easier way to develop. And last but not least, the NLU context rules, the ability to have full context access and development capabilities, and also full model evaluation for those that are still using rule-based models in their applications for consistency. So a lot of exciting updates, especially for this quarter, but we are going to focus on self-learning customer service agents, why they exist, what are the capabilities, and we are going to dive immediately into the demo at this point. Obviously, seeing is believing, and we prefer to demo and show the capability live rather than just spending a whole bunch of slides and then the time to explain what it means. So I'll dive right into the capability and into the platform right now, which is going to take us a minute, and will just guide us through what it means to build in the era of self-learning agentic CX, what it means to go live, what it means to have an agent and to maintain an agent that is obviously performant, but also compliant, capable of serving all your customer queries, and able to learn and evolve over time while sitting and existing in production, which is the exciting part of self-learning agents. They are able to understand and dive deep into your contact center and transform every interaction into a learning opportunity, or condense all the interactions into a consistent learning path for your customer experience. So without further ado, I'll just get myself into the platform. I think that's the exciting part of it. And just a super brief introduction here on why we had to create this experience and why we had to create self-learning agentic CX. Back in the days and in the past, we have seen many projects take many months in the design phase. In reality, the build phase maybe was not as long as you would imagine, but the design and approvals phase always took a very, very long time. So that is one of the reasons why it was necessary that we created an experience that could go live quickly and learn from existing interactions, transform a lot of data into a foundation to a customer experience that can evolve over time. That is one of the reasons why it exists. Obviously, the other one being that we have been always fantastic at containing calls and maintaining whenever we can do it, and whenever there is the API to do such actions, or there is that capability. We have always been fantastic at creating that containment rate and that containment metric. But I think all of us started feeling as well that containment is essential so that you can pick up that savings that you can do with a lot of containment and start reinvesting into better customer experience. And we didn't see a better way to create a better customer experience than actually investing more on your AI first experience, and the AI first experience really providing a capability for you to replicate the best of your brand and the best of your agents in the contact center. So we really pick up all types of data and we transform it into the best possible experience from the perspective of the customer. So the customer is calling, we want the customer to feel heard and to feel that their query is being resolved. So I'll start from a white canvas and just say, having a chat interface that allows you to get into the build phase is very, very important, and really change the game for a lot of our users. So right now you don't have to understand exactly how the orchestrator pieces work, what is going on in the platform. The only thing you have to do is, what do you want to build? What do you want help building? And this interface is going to help you through guidance and through examples on how is the best way to do such things, and do it for you, which is the most exciting part of all that. So let's say I am the owner of a small hotel. So let's just say I am the owner of me hotel, and I want to build an agent to answer my customers' queries. And it's as easy as it gets, right? You just start your experience by saying what you want to do, and the system, as you can see, starts guiding you through what are the things you could be doing so that you provide a better experience for your customers. Here, I am going to say, you know what, I'm starting fresh, so I want to just answer a couple of FAQs. And for that, it already tells you, do you have any existing documents with some frequently asked questions? For sure, your agents have already, uh, for sure they have that in their policy book. So can you provide that for me? And here is a very simplistic example, or a very easy to understand example of an FAQ fact sheet, right? So it's very, very simple. It just has some information about check-in and check-out, reservations and cancellations. We also want to keep it simple for this small experience, but it is just a way for us to understand what type of document we are ingesting here. So we start with FAQs, which is something easy to understand, something that is also not difficult for anyone to answer. And I can just say, here are some common FAQs. And this will trigger the agent to start understanding what the FAQs are, what it could understand, and what kind of queries it could answer to the customers that are calling. And that is a significant lift and significant update from the previous way of building, because from now you also can have this potential of serving that 0.01% of calls that maybe in the past you wouldn't bother building. Now it is as easy as just dropping the document where the answers are for that specific experience and transform it into an AI application. So that's the experience we are promoting here, and that is the capability that the platform gives you out of the box. So as you see here, it understood that I upload a document with certain FAQs. It starts trying to take some notes on the items. So let's give it a second here. 1 second here. 1 second here. I was gonna urge it to continue, but just took a moment to read. That's not a big deal compared to the many weeks one would have to spend trying to get that done. So here it is. It says, I have extracted already 20 FAQ entries organized into 6 different categories. It explains what it understood. And in this case, I mean, I could dive deeper and try to understand what exactly are the questions and answers. We can do it in a further stage. We will see it, but for now, I will just say, you know what? Just approve all of them, and let's get live and let's get the experience going. Let's start serving customers from yesterday. So it approves all the FAQ entries that it understood exist, and it is now starting to create your guest assistant, really. So it has the ability to answer those 20 FAQs, fully auditable. You can understand what are the questions and answers that it would be able to answer, and it immediately it will immediately give you a way to try it out, right? So if I go here and I say, what time is the check-in? It just gives you a standard check-in time, whatever was in the document that could be the standard check-in time being at 3 p.m. Early check-in is available on a first come, first served basis. So This is available both in chat and voice, obviously. You can, from one moment to the other, just hit the voice as well.
Hello. Welcome to Acme Hotel. How can I help you today?
Yeah, hi. What is the check-in time?
Standard check-in time is 3 p.m., but early check-in is available on a first-come, first-served basis starting at noon if a room is ready for you. Do you need any help with your check-in, or would you need help with anything else?
Excellent. So this was just a super quick way for us to go from zero to a functional application that could actually be turned on for customers' use. Obviously, everyone wants to have assertions in place, so I could just say, could you create test assertions for this functionality so that you keep having a sort of not exactly test-driven approach, but you immediately can create some test assertions that the existing functionality will work according to specifications. So that will be a functionality that gives you comfort as you go live. As you see here, you immediately can add a bunch of test assertions. It just reads the functionality of your application, reads the existing documentation, and transforms it into assertions immediately. And you can come here and start running some of those simulations. Let me just refresh. Sorry for the hassle here, and the simulations will be easy to run. So you can just run all of the assertions, everything that you have created a minute ago. It will test it. It will try the application. It has a user simulator embedded that will make sure that whatever functionality you built is functioning according to spec. So that is very important. It is functioning according to spec. So if the specs are not good, you still have a problem, and we will see how we manage to solve that problem with self-learning agentic CX and self-learning agents. And I want to highlight here this very important point. As you saw, I just went from zero to hero in a couple of minutes, but in reality, I just gave an FAQ document there. So I say, what is the check-in time? It gives me the general information, but if I actually want to check in, that is not a functionality that is available yet on the application, and that is something that you need to dive deeper on if you want to make it work. I'll just start diving deeper. As you see, I already saw a bunch of functionality here that worked well, something that might have failed, so you can understand why it failed and update your application. So that is a very productive tool to initialize your application with a lot more confidence and a lot of more simulated data on top, right? So if it achieves the goal, excellent. If it fails the goal, you dive deep and you just create a better data set, or you change how your application is supposed to work. Now, let's dive a little deeper into what this means. So we already have a running application, as you see here, and we already have a place where we can see the data that we have uploaded. So we already accepted all of these FAQs. You can come here and still reject them or change them, give them exactly what they need to function. This is just FAQ material, nothing else. And that is important because there is no action, right? There is no ability for the system to actually have an action, like accepting an early check-in, scheduling an early check-in, or scheduling a late checkout, or checking in the user for on the phone. So that is extremely important, especially because the next stage of evolution is, what other data do you have available that you could provide to the system so that the system learns the capabilities of your contact center? And that next stage would probably be, if you want to give action power to your agent, that would be an API, for example, right? And we have here a very simplistic API, which you can see. I mean, super simple. gives you a bunch of endpoints. Each endpoint has a capability, just basic open API type document. And the only thing I'm going to do is I will get that API uploaded to the system. That API will be processed. The system will understand what kind of capabilities could a more autonomous agent have based on the API. And this API is exactly the same API that is available for human agents. There is no distinction, and this is a very important fundamental principle of self-learning agents. The intelligence that is serving AI agents should be in all ways similar to the intelligence that is serving human agents. There is no difference. It's just one core intelligence. If you are using Agent Assist, the recommendations and in terms of actions that you could take should be similar to the ones that you would get as an AI agent. So what we got here immediately after uploading this YAML file with the API was 3 different agents or autonomous agents that could handle a specific task. So in this case, I will just start with the check-in and check-out. It would also have the loyalty program and the reservation management, but let's do check-in and check-out, which is easy to understand how it processes the data and transforms it into actionable items. So from here, I just say, okay, check-in and check-out for sure seems like something I want my agents to do. So I will say, generate my playbook. Playbook is a fundamental word here because the playbook is the document that defines all the capabilities, limitations, guardrails, identity, policies, conversation flow for both human and AI agents. In this case, we are working with AI agents, but this playbook is the core capability or the core document that is going to be auditable from 0 until the end of a conversation. Everything that happens needs to be documented in that playbook, and that is fundamental for the success of the implementation, the AI success, as in also ability to have guardrails in place that do not let you go off course. And obviously the ability for you to understand what data produces X results, right? So you see here the playbook was generated and there is no KPI forecast yet because we didn't start ingesting calls. If we start ingesting calls, real calls, both audio or transcriptions, it will start giving you an understanding of, for the world of calls that exist, I will be able to provide you X% of containment on this with this playbook. But you already have the ability to see all the details. You can edit all the details, the guardrails, what it will do, what it won't do, how you should understand that it will escalate to an agent. Certain policies, still very standard policies that are not very very deeply based on a lot of data because we just uploaded the API, so it only inferred those policies from the API, and also the conversational flow. It continues by displaying all the tools available, what is in the knowledge base, phrases that it will use, and that you can edit for the conversation to flow in. So it gives you a very, very consistent document, which is human readable, and you can very easily understand. So that is a fundamental thing, and I will just hit here, build new version based on my newly deployed agent. And from this moment onwards, we are finally capable. We have an agent that is actually able to move on and start handling an early check-in, for example, right? So this is a fundamental shift at this point in the process, because I am not only able to answer basic queries, I am also going to be able to answer to for example, say I want to do an early check-in or a late checkout, right? So if I actually test it and you have the ability to continuously test your implementation, I would say I want an early check-in. And let's say I have this confirmation number. And it knows who I am. It identifies that I am this person checking in here, checking in there. Yes, that's me. I want to check in at 6 a.m. And there you go. So as you see here, it just immediately allowed my check-in on at 6 a.m., which is very unlikely. And I mean, I'm pretty sure my hotel wouldn't allow that to happen. So no problem. That just reveals I haven't yet provided enough information to create the correct guardrails for that capability. And that's fine because the only thing I have to do is to just pick up my existing SOPs, again, the same SOPs that are being used by my agents. And I'll see, for example, here, what would be the check-in rule. Let's see, early check-in, 12 to 3 is available, but not at 6 a.m. So excellent. So I guess the only thing you have to continuously do is let's just upload that SOP very quickly to the platform. And from that SOP, it will get that document, and that source document will reveal what is the guardrail that should have been in place. That is a fundamental shift, obviously, from older, very deterministic rules and very deterministic development. Right now, just upload the document, you understand what is the content of the document, and you live by the fundamentals and the foundations that you build on your playbook. So you see here, new since this version, you have uploaded a new document, and it tells you, I have new documents, I have new information. So we could probably do something smarter than what we are doing now. And I say, well, excellent. I am all in for that. So I just click generate new playbook, and it will gather all types of information that were available previously in the playbook and transform those with the new document, and what are the limitations, or in this case, what are the fundamental shifts that are happening based on the document that I have uploaded. To save us some time, because it is just taking a bunch of seconds here to generate the new playbook, I will also go into the next stage, which is connect to your contact center, and that is super exciting. That is probably the most exciting of all this experience. One of the things we have identified early in the process of building is that most AI companies are saying, if your data is not perfect, if your data is not AI ready, that's the way that people are putting it these days. If your data is not AI ready, your implementation is not going to be good. And we always fundamentally disagreed with that, because we cannot wait for companies to, or for anyone to just build their AI perfect data before we do an implementation. So we asked ourselves, as a human, what would I do if I wanted to solve a problem and I wanted to understand the problem deeply? And we said, just sit next to the problem, just sit in the center of the contact center, listen to the calls that are happening, and transform that into AI-ready data. And that is the fundamental shift. Instead of waiting for the data to be perfect, we ingest as much data as we can, SOPs, APIs, etc. And then we start ingesting calls that make all of it make a lot of sense. So I'm just going to ingest here 4 or 5 calls very quickly, so that the system starts understanding not only how to contain calls, right? And I want to highlight that part very, very definitively. Not only how to contain calls, not only how to get to first call resolution, but then when we start ingesting calls, we are also asking ourselves, what would your best agents do? What are the agents that get the best out of the customer experience, that get the best customer experience ready? What are they doing? What are the different things that they have done so that the interaction was more successful? And in reality, we transform that old concept of your data is not AI ready into let me hear your conversations and transform that into AI perfect data. And that is a fundamental shift because it also speaks to how much investment an enterprise needs to make with self-learning agents versus with any other AI agent. Don't let anybody tell you your data is not AI ready, so your implementation is not going to be great. Let's instead focus on let's decide to fix this problem. Let's decide to make this problem go away by listening to every type of interaction and deciding what is the best path forward for each and every conversation. It's an exciting shift. We are beyond excited with what we have developed and the results we are currently seeing. Sorry, just there you go. There is an update already, not yet. So you see here, and I'm just gonna quickly reference this. There is a pipeline processing a lot of just 4 calls in this case, but we normally connect directly to the contact center and we just get all the live calls in real time and we just process it every day and transform it into better understanding and into better functionality. So just with the SOP flow, you can see, and with one call that had already been processed, you already see what was added, the different phases that are added, as in how do you check in, how do you check out, how do you ask for a customer's identity, what should you do when the customer says, for example, that he or she wants to check in at 6 a.m. And then also new tools and new entity definitions. You see more guardrails are in place from 14 guardrails. We went to 19, certainly, for example, for the check-in rule. And it's as easy as you see it. Different versions get built, and you just need to say, excellent, there is a new version available. I build it, I roll it forward. If something is not going according to the plan, no problem, I just roll it back immediately. We are in a new age for customer experience, and we want to make sure that all of our customers get on board with that new customer experience type. There is no longer infinite time to go live. There is a fast forward path to go live, and there is a shift towards a much better customer experience rather than just focus on operational expenses. And self-learning agents have created a lot of buzz in the category, in the market, and it is revealing to be the fundamentally right way to go from what my customers want to what my customers can get in the best and most elegant way possible, and in a way that extends your brand. One thing we like to say is, what if you could multiply your absolute best contact center agent 1,000,000 times? And that is what this is creating, the possibility for you to extend your brand continuously for forever. So the business changes, things evolve, and the Agentic self-learning platform is growing and understanding what the business is actually doing and transforming that into the best brand and customer experience possible. So we are in reality extending the best of your contact center agents 1,000,000 times, or if you would like, infinitely. So just I know that I went through the functionality super quick, but just going here and now testing the functionality after having ingested the SOPs and having ingested some calls. And if I would come in and say, let's try, and would you be able to accommodate an early check-in at 6 a.m. At this point, and with the policies that are available, it already has the capability of telling you only from 12 p.m. from 3 p.m. Obviously, it can continue and just ask for the reservation and actually perform the check-in for you. And at this point, it has a lot more information over what a good customer experience should look like. So in a nutshell, I think the magic and the interesting part of agentic self-learning is really the ability for you to continuously evolve and for you to see your brand and your customer experience correctly reflected as you would like them to be. So progressively and iteratively on what we are doing is that we are connecting to the contact center, listening to every single call and transforming those calls into a learning opportunity, into a new path to success. So it is exciting for us to see what every organization is going to be doing now with agentic self-learning as we are evolving towards a much more customer experience focused world and less on customer experience based on expenses. So we are really transforming your contact center into a growth engine and not only the customer retention engine, rather than just an expense that you are trying to control and do the best out of it possible. So exciting times for customer experience, exciting times for customer experience with AI, and self-learning agentic CX is the platform that is changing the category towards a much more customer experience and self-evolution focused perspective. So thank you all for spending this time with us. I hope that you have gotten excited and that you are as excited as we are to see what this platform can do for you. I will just open for couple of questions. I'll let everyone get a couple of minutes to just type their questions in the chat, and I'll be answering them right away. But thank you for spending the time with me, and I think this is an extraordinary release from Omilia that really extends the possibilities for your contact centers and your customer experience exponentially. So I'll just give a moment for folks to start typing their questions in.